One, two, one, two, one, two. Is it working? Alright, so I'm gonna show y'all a bunch of videos I've been watching for a long time, different people, you know what I mean, that I pay attention to, give my energy to, because, you know what I mean, they wise and they spreading a lot of different messages and things people need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like this McDonald's thing I know about for a very long time, past 2 years. Sometimes I even get upset, you know what I'm saying, and get a little too upset, and I'll be outside McDonald's telling people, why y'all eating that, you know what I'm saying, getting real upset. But this is about to be the realest video probably on YouTube. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of stuff that people should know. I'm gonna call it my little documentary. I'm saying of wise YouTubers that I learned something from and feel you should too. So we gonna get into this. You know what I mean? And as far as on the Tupac album, I know that's crazy, but it's good to sometimes upload stuff like that and even games or whatever, because that's how you reach other people that are so caught up in just, you know what I mean, the music or games and all that type of stuff. So I like to use those outlets as ways to reach them other people. Can't just be stuck on the people that's already on the path that I'm on. Gotta also try to reach the other ones that's a little blind and lost. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Trying to help each other spread the message in the world. You might not reach them all, but you might reach one out of 1,000. You know what I'm saying? And that's what matters, because then they probably gonna pass it to somebody else. And, the list goes on. But this guy David Anatola, I be feeling like he'd talk to Pac or something or whatever. But you know what I mean? I even get above Pac a lot of love because, like I said, I got a lot of good from him. I ain't really follow too much bad. And feel like, a lot of people shouldn't go so hard on Pac because he's not even in the game no more. And it's all these other people that continue to keep on being in the game and pushing the lust and, you know what I mean, the negative shit and all that, and guns and hoes this and hoes that. So, kind of blame the ones that should know better based on what Pac said or what Pac been through or what people are saying about, you know what I mean, the whole industry. Like people should just be not even really falling for it anymore. But I like this guy because he breaks down real stuff, spells the Hollywood whole thing. Like people talk about Hollywood and how it's bad, but I never heard anybody talk about Hollywood the way he do and break it down what the name means and the tree and why you shouldn't play with wands and all that stuff and secret societies that I never heard of until I came across this guy. Also, the truth about gangs and cults and Satanism and how it was infiltrated. You know what I'm saying, to be brainwashed after people throwing up the wrong thing, and that's why negative energy always following. You know what I'm saying, the gangs are any type of groups that's trying to stand for something in the neighborhood because they representing things that they have no clue about. You know what I mean? Like they know about the history to the game, but they don't know about certain things that just got in the mix. And you know what I mean? But like even the 3 6s, I remember when it wasn't even really being 3 6s thrown up. It was more like a B. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of things changed and all that. But we gonna get into this. And these are the wise YouTubers that I follow and learn things from before. And some things I know about already. And that's why I also follow these people because I feel like they on the same path that I was on or had the same mind state and not afraid to just talk the truth. Let's go.
It's time to discuss the truth. What's real? Away, away, awaken from what? That's the real question. Suicide. Tupac was on a mission to awaken the world and the masses of people globally. And awaken them to what? What is it that Tupac was trying to awaken the world from? Everyone can feel that the world needs a wake-up call. And as it occurred to us, what we need to be awakened from. It's like being awakened from a simple night's sleep, right? But not like that, because it's the kind of sleep that you have to shake a person constantly from to awaken them. It's like they can't seem to wake up, and we can't seem to wake up from this world of disillusionment, of materialism, status, lust, and success, as if we all are under a spell that's been cast by a sorcerer. by a warlock and rulers of this world. And what kind of spell we talking about? I'm talking about a spell of enchantment. It's a type of spell that only sorcerers and charmers can cast. And charm means to subdue or control by incantation or secret influence. So, this is what they're doing to the mind. With charm, you can subdue secretly a person, especially by means of which pleases and delights the mind. So television programming has the power to subdue opposition and gain their affection. So what are these devices? Modern black scrying screens. It's causing all these hallucinations and fictitious spiritual enchantment. They sell to the masses who believe what they see. And through these enchant visual spellcasting programs, you see people becoming lost and disenchanted with reality. And you find the television set in the home of every human being on the planet, practically. And where is this power of programming coming from? Who are these elites that control the electromagnetic static energy and frequency controlling the masses through this satellite imagery? This is the question you have to ask yourself. Who are these people? What is their spiritual beliefs? And how do they get the power over these elements of natural resource to cast a spell? I mean, everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants the limelight. Everybody wants to be successful, be considered beautiful and idle, and be glorious, and, live this narcissistic lifestyle of just being adored. And it just seems like it's something great, like they're going to give you the world and make you a star, but there's something else to it. There's more to it than just the glitz and the glamour. What is the power and the spiritual energy behind this is what we have to ask ourselves. What is Hollywood really doing? What is the history of this great movie controlling force that has everybody so fascinated and lost in reality? It has the capability to make you forget about God and scripture and what's real, because you start to think that what you're seeing in the movies is real, and you become a zombie lost in this matrix, in a world that's not real, in a world that only exists on sound stages, and it's being programmed to keep your mind fascinated so that you don't understand God. And then you have Hollywood. Hollywood. What is the history of Hollywood? Why is it named Hollywood? How does the story go? I mean, how did this place come to be the place where the stars go? Where the stars go. It's a quite incredible story. Let's get into it. Hollywood originates from the northern and southern forefronts of Europe, of which even at the time of the Roman Empire and before, the whole section of Europe, known as the Center for the White Man's Presence on this earth, of which Tupac came up with the concept for White Man's World, was quite literally ruled over by an ancient priesthood that called themselves the Druids, who were connected with the Luciferian energy and spirituality. And they were the ministers, the priests, the judges, the lawyers, the religious leaders, and it was just the priesthood that dominated all of Europe and still does. Europe is still a Druidic country, and America is a Druidic country. Unless you understand the Druidic system of beliefs, you never understand what's going on in America and in England. And one of the most important symbols in the Druidic system was a magic wand, like Merlin the magician with the magic wand. And they used to do the Wicker Man burnings with, sacrificing lives to their spiritual god. But the magic wand, was the symbol, and it was considered symbolic because it was supposed to be from the holly tree. And even their conductors have always had a magic wand for a reason. And you had better play to the tune of the master and all of that, right? Because it's a spell, and all of this is truly Druidic. And the conductor directs you to play, and he directs you to stop with the magic wand. And the magic wands were always made out of the wood of the holly trees that originated in Europe. That's made out of the Hollywood. And in Hollywood, it's a Druid type of establishment. And all the symbols, the words, the terms, the stories, numerology shown, everything is meant to cast a spell on you through the movie. So that people will go out to the world and think that this is how you would normally react to situations like they see people doing the movie. So in the Western civilization, especially in the Western civilization, our ability to work with one another and socialize with one another now is just so screwed up because we're watching so much television and seeing so much ignorance and so much foolishness coming out of Hollywood, you know, with the violence, the sex, the drugs, and all the satanic subliminals and madness. They got people out here losing their minds. And it seems like we're losing our humanity, and we no longer know how to live for one another and be self-sacrificing. But this is Hollywood, you know? And, you know, it makes me wonder about beautiful Miss Halle Berry, because I love her, but, you know, the name Halle Berry, you know what I'm saying?
A disturbing image hidden inside a toy purchased at a local dollar
Watch this.
store.
This how they get the kids before they even know it.
Caring mother wants it off the shelves. A mother bought her toddler this princess wand at the dollar store behind me. Imagine her surprise when the curious little girl peeled back the foil to find this image of a girl cutting herself inside. The packaging promises fairies and wonderful music, but I doubt many people would call this music. It's difficult to see the image clearly in the dark, but if you pull back the foil, there's no mistaking it. If you look close enough, it's not a drawing. It's an actual picture of the girl slitting her wrist. I'm outraged over it. I want to know how they think that is suitable for a child. Nicole Allen said she found the wand for her 2-year-old daughter in the toy section of the $1 store on Linden Avenue last weekend. There was Barbie dolls on one side and baby dolls on the other side, and these are right in the middle of where they were at. The owner of the store told me parents need to pay more attention to what they're buying for their children.
The name on it says Eviled Stick. So from the name, I would, if I'm buying it for my kid, and I have a lot of kids, and I have young ones, I would inspect it before I even give it to them.
He also said that while he would not buy the toy for a toddler, he thinks it's okay for older kids.
For a 5, 6, 7, 10 years old, I mean, they see that on TV every day.
But Nicole and other shoppers at the store disagree.
You want to think about little...
See, just want to say, it's not only just the whole Santa thing, you know what I mean, that makes kids not enjoy family and the love and all that. Instead, be worrying about the gifts. Well, that's bait. That's why they put it in the cheap stores like that, where it's like in local neighborhoods where they're not so, you know, rich or, you know, got money like that. But they put it in the dollar stores because they know that's where most people, you know what I mean, that's not fortunate as the other ones that be so rich to go there and buy some cheap toys, and them cheap toys already be, you know what I'm saying, like having a hex or a curse on them to make your child get a certain type of energy, and then it mess with their spirit, and then they be going crazy, having an attitude of being bad, and want to break stuff, and don't even be knowing where it's coming from. And this is where it comes from.
Girls picking that up and thinking this is normal, you know, or funny or interesting or any of those things.
The owner of the store tells me he will not be taking the item off of his shelf unless he receives a complaint directly from a customer.
A sorcerer cast a spell on you. Cast a spell on you.
Cat Williams is at the center of yet another lawsuit, making his third violence-related incident in less than a month. This time, the comedian is being accused of imprisoning and torturing a woman named Jamila Majesty after inviting her to his home. According to the lawsuit, Williams and his female housemates assaulted Majesty during a witchcraft-inspired beating, which lasted 3 hours. Majesty is claiming that the attack started when Williams became angry that she used his bathroom, and that the beating was so bad she repeatedly lost consciousness during the attack. She was then given ice packs to revive herself, only so that the assault could continue. Majesty also claims that Williams burned her face with a lit cigarette and slapped her several times before punching her in the ribs. This is where it gets weird. In the court documents, Majesty noticing what she describes as a Wiccan book, something evil, with teachings on sorcery and spells on Williams' bed. Majesty also recalls a fire going in the house all the while this was happening. As a result of the beating, Majesty suffered facial scarring, broken ribs, and other extreme physical and emotional damage. Earlier this month, Williams was accused by several women for holding them at gunpoint.
You know, a lot of things I can't do. I can't play basketball like every other black person in America. But I can act. I know how to go to that true spot in myself because I'm there every day. I can be me. I can be whoever because I'm true to me. I can go to neutral easily. A lot of people, black, white, Mexican, young or old, fat or skinny. Kill people, cop haters. They're going against society. I don't understand the music. It's too loud. It's too loud. It's too rowdy. It's too violent. Let's ban all.
You know, some of you might not want to watch it, you know what I'm saying? You see Tupac and don't like him, or I'm saying whatever you feel about him, but I look past that and looking. I'm saying that the message that's being put in these videos, new things I've learned and all that. You know what I'm saying? So just try to look past that if you got some type of animosity and just listen to the words. You know what I'm saying? Just like when it comes to the Lord, the Most High. So just focus on the word. That's all. Really.
Tupac and Thug Life. What did Thug Life mean to Tupac? How did Tupac view gangs in America, socially, spiritually, and historically? What was Tupac raised up to believe in as far as unity and movement? And are all gangs cults? The truth is, all gangs are cults. And what they do is tribal. So when you see them represent their gang stats by twisting up their fingers or wearing red or blue or
Real
even throwing up
history.
the 666, all of this is tribal. It dates back in history to our ancient ancestors. Like embracing the savage spirit, the greed, the lust, the murder, the blood in, the blood out rituals. It's all tribal. Some gangs have even embraced the 666, the mark of the beast. That's their symbol of representation and identity. But what does scripture say about all these things? A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes and speaketh with his feet. He teacheth with his fingers. You see gangs in modern times doing graffiti and doing their gang dances and throwing up their sets ritualistically and symbolically. All they're doing is representing their ancestors, the spirit of their ancestors, which is within their DNA, from South America to Africa, Asia, China, wherever. But something else has infiltrated this spirituality, and it's similar to Kabbalah and the Judaism. It's Luciferianism. It's similar to Satanism. It represents the star of Saturn, which is the star of Moloch, Rephaim, and the star of Babylon. The star has become a symbol of God, and this symbol of God is being worshipped by the Black Saturn groups of the world. But what does the 6 mean to Larry Hoover? Larry Hoover started the Gangster Disciples, the Black Disciples, which was supposed to be preserving the historical knowledge and hieroglyphics and understanding of Black power for our people and unify us. But somewhere along the line, the gang was infiltrated, and opposites from the 5 and the 6 began to fight one another. And it's still not understood why we can't see that the gangs have been infiltrated, and that there's a new set of principalities and a new force controlling the streets. Urban Satanism is what it's starting to become. And all your gang leaders are locked up, dead, and gone. They had a message of unity and truth. You can see it in the hieroglyphics and the graphics or graffiti all over the world with gangs. They represent. And it all looks tribal. It looks like the same thing that was represented at the beginning of time and what was spoken about in Scripture. From great civilizations that fell because of their disobedience to God. But gangs can be something positive if they realize the history that they represent and the tribalism that's in their DNA and blood that allows them to come together as a gang and as a group of people with a force for a movement. Gangs have to unify Bloods, Crips, Folks, GDs, Disciples, and they have to realize that we are all in the bloodlines of Imhotep and Pharaohs of Egypt. And graffiti is nothing more than ancient hieroglyphics. Representing the red and the blue is as old as Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Sumerian civilizations and times. Unity is the key, and we must eliminate the Luciferian Satanism and all the gestures and tenets of worship and devotion that have infiltrated the movement. The Bloods and Crips can be positive, but we have to know that all these symbols of Satanism that we are representing within our movements are really worshiping Satan, and it's all in the same. And this blood sacrifice culture resides within the Great Seal of the United States. So there you have it. It says in Scripture, Ecclesiastes 1, everything that once was shall be again, so there's nothing. And now we have a lot of talk about the Illuminati, about the international bankers, about the Zionists, alien consciousness. It's all type of groups is coming up, and a lot of satanic type groups as well is coming up. New Age type of religions on the rise, and all of these groups coming up. What you find in most cases with these groups is that they all are worshiping a force. If you go to the highest level of these groups, I mean, very high, tip top, you'll see that they worshiping some type of force, and it's not God. And it's not the God of Moses or Jesus or Abraham, none of that. It's another force. And they're worshiping this force, and they seeking and taking power from this force and out of this force. Nobody wants to say exactly what it is, but Christians and Muslims, bottom line, they were already forewarned and foretold that this day and age will be brought about, and that the truth is come. And falsehood will vanish, because surely falsehood is a perishing, vanishing thing that can't exist, as it says in Scripture. And at the end of time, it was said that great liars, false prophets, manipulators will come to a point where they're going to say they are of the Christ, and they're going to be claiming to be the Christ, and just be false prophets that will come to you and lead you astray. And they will come with you with the type of speech that's something that you've never heard of before, something that sounds like it makes sense and it adds up, but you got to be aware that it doesn't make any sense to lead you astray. So you got to be aware, and you got to put a blessing around yourself through prayer daily, and know that we live in a time of trial and temptation. And so, as God forewarned us, you gotta know what you're witnessing today. And with the advent of technology, new technology, human beings have the ability now to send information throughout the entire planet simultaneously within seconds. We have the ability to witness events in other countries and all over the world, instantly, and see each other and communicate. This is a power that's never been witnessed before, but at the same time, the same power can be used simultaneously to confuse the whole world and lie to the whole world all at once, overnight. And they had this ability to, twist around the truth and to develop and put together images, sounds, and storylines, like, with the Tupac Holmes thing, when it was, putting linking documents that wasn't even true together and putting it together with, actions of Panthers and all it is, and, they tell you to watch it. But this is just mind control television, and it was said that once the whole world can hear the message of God, with this great technology, that's how we're going to know that the end is near. And, this is some of the speech that you've never heard before, some of the stuff that the world's never ever heard of, with that, AI, artificial intelligence, with transhumanism, and all of that. I mean, the world has basically become helplessly preoccupied. I mean, their lives are now bombarded with, series of cultural events, and these cultural events, start to become the most important thing to people in their lives now.
Music
World Cup,
concerts.
NBA championships, the Major League Series, hockey games, tennis, soccer, golf, whatever sports people may be into. We see whole nations of people coming behind sports figures, and national heroes become, sporting people and idols, and all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Even in Muslim nations, they got national heroes, soccer players, and who kicks the little ball from inside of a net to win and becomes the hero of the nation. And people are, dying on the ground, and we become so preoccupied with this that it becomes an indoctrination, and we don't see what's happening to us. And with the use of these powerful images through music and videos, through imagery, it's taking a toll on our emotions, and definitely furthering the extremism throughout the planet, to where we don't even pay attention to the signs and symbols. And we're not seeing how things are changing, but people are now in love with themselves. They're even confused about their own identity, trying to change their hair, their eyes, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way their body look. I mean, on a global level, this is going down. And we see drug addiction everywhere. We see it's reached a point to where humanity has never seen it like this before, where everyone is dependent upon some type of drugs. And this goes for any religion and globally. It's not just happening in your city or my city, but this is everywhere. You got people confused with drugs. It's pouring into all the countries, no matter what form it takes, whether it's cocaine, LSD, psychedelics, depressants, lean. It's something that's going to put you up or put you down and confuse create a false world for you and give you a false dependence and have you living in a false reality to where you become so socially dependent on the chemical, you forget about God, and you forget about what God has planned for you, and you let the drugs become your pusher, and the drugs become your God, and it's so creating this type of dependency amongst the masses of people. You now see the lethal social diseases that are starting to spread as a result of this. And the physical ailments, like in South Africa, it's sad to say that 1 out of every 3 women there have HIV. HIV is so rapid, it's so widespread throughout South Africa and throughout Africa, period. It's crazy. And it's starting to happen throughout the planet. You see people malfunctioning, and you see, as technology is getting greater, we're not advancing as far as on how to take care of ourselves and naturally heal ourselves. We're still stuck on chemicals and pollutions and, polluting the water, and all the animals are dying, and things are cutting down in the rainforest, and destroying the trees and the ecosystem, and we creating all these strange forms of cancer and other lethal diseases and tumors and lumps and things popping out in our bodies as a result of how we treat the planet. And it's happening at a rate at which we've never seen before. And all those who are affected and connected to this electronical, technological world are oblivious to this, because we see the images that are put before us and the images that are connected to what our general geopolitical situation is, and we roll with that. That's it. That's our world. We don't care about anything else. And this is what has to change. People have to become more conscious and see where everything is moving towards. And what it's moving towards is a one world situation. We're going to have one world police force, one world bank, one world government, and a one world leader. And, that's just how things are going to be. And if people don't wake up and realize our free will, our democracy, all of that is going to vanish. These banks and everyone that's controlling the world, they're going to change the whole system of economy, how we shop, how we do everything. And, the money's going to disappear, turn to plastic. And they already have plans, and they're trying to chip everybody now with this RFID situation, where they want you tied into the satellites, and they want to control your motor functions and your emotions, and turn the whole world smart. Your whole house going to be connected to your body. Your house talking to your car, and they can manipulate your DNA of your child and make these superhuman children, and form this false, evolved world. And all of this is going to be happening with this chip. This chip is going to be able to do everything as far as controlling emotions, controlling how you feel, your mindset. It could even kill you if you're the type of person probably that they feel like is a rebel or somebody that's going to go against what's going on. It can shut you down. And Revelation spoke of this. Bottom line, Revelation said that this day and age would come, and that people would see this in the end. It would be confusing. It would be chaos. It would be moments of war. It would be, great disease and famine and plagues and natural disasters. And in the beginning of time, God spoke about the essence of why He created humanity, and that was to be obedient and to serve God, and to understand that God created everything in the universe throughout the cosmos, and that we are a creation, that we're here to serve God and be natural. And our natural state is righteousness, is peace, harmony, is positive. And, since the fallen angels in the time of that, humanity has been working on getting back to the point of righteousness and fulfilling the prophecy of being a righteous people and seeking God. And that's what we're going to have to do. Let us pray. I see mothers in black crumbing, brothers in packs down, plus everybody's high, too doped up to ask why. Watching our own downfall, witness the end. It's like we don't believe in God, cause we living in sin. I asked my homie on the block why he strapped, he laughed, pointed his pistol at the cop, called past the blast. It's just another murder. Nobody mourns no more. My teardrops getting bigger, but can't figure what I'm going for. This is the miniature caskets filled babies, victims of a strain from drug dealers going crazy. Maybe it's just the drugs, business
because of how the block was. Crack came and it was strange how it rocked us. Perhaps the underlying facts they hide explain genocide. It's when we ride on our own kind. Was it we all fear? Reflections in the mirror. We can't escape fate. The end is getting nearer. Who do you believe in? I put my faith in God blessings to me. Even though it's hard, that's who I believe in. Before I'm leaving, the mask and the grieving. Who do you believe in? Who do you believe in? I put my faith in God blessings to grieving. Even though it's hard, that's who I believe in.
Alright, I don't want to be on this live too long.
World's most
So
secret
I'm going to try to go
society.
through
Here's some of
the
the most
video as
secret
much
and
faster as I
influential
can.
organizations still operating to this day, whose extreme secrecy has given rise to the wildest rumors. Number 10, the Priory of Sion, officially founded in France by Pierre Plantar in 1956 and dissolved the same year. The existence of the Priory of Sion is still a controversial topic of debate. It was claimed to have been founded by Godfrey Bullion, 1099 on Mount Zion in the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Joined through history by members like Sandro Botticelli, Victor Hugo, Leonardo da Vinci. Plantar was suspected to have invented much of the story in order to create a prestigious Christian civil order like the Templars, and attract an elite group of influential people who would recognize him as the great monarch prophesied by Nostradamus. The Priory of Sion was still said to exist secretly until its members announced a revival in 2002. Number 9, the Cadaver Society. The Cadaver Society is a secret society of students at Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia, United States. Continuously active since its founding in 1957, the group's membership and internal structure were unknown, and the identities of the cadavers are kept secret, making it one of the most obscure secret societies of students. Many prominent places on the campus testify to their influence over the university, like one of the main access to the campus being the bridge that bears their name. The Cadaver Society has long been suspected of owning secret tunnels and passageways spanning throughout the campus. They are also rumored to have an influence extended far beyond the confines of their university. Some speculate that the group could be acting as a branch of the Illuminati. Number 8, the Shriners International. The ancient Arabic order of nobles, the mystic shrine was established in 1870. It built around initiation rites, rituals, and rules sharing ideals of brotherly love and charity. Today commonly known as Shriners, abbreviated AAONMS, they are closely linked to Freemasonry and now count approximately 340,000 members from 195 temples around the world. Number 7, the Order of Druids. Feared by Romans, the Druids were the doctors, educators, judges, and astronomers of the Celtic world. Traces of them can be found dating as far back as 6000 BC. Officially founded in London in 1781 as a fraternal organization that would later inspire Neo-Druidism, the actual roots of the ancient order of Druids remain shrouded in mystery, as most data about it has been lost. The AOD follows a form of modern spirituality promoting harmony with nature, respect of all beings, and worship of Merlin and his 7 precepts as a moral way of life. Most of their beliefs and rituals remain uncharted and hardly accessible to the public at large. Some rumors even suspected them of being the original founders of the Masonic orders. Number 6, the Illuminati. The Order of Illuminati found its roots in Bavaria in 1776 when Adam Weishaupt founded the movement as a philosophic opposition to state and religious abuses of power, as well as support of women's education. This defiance against institutional power soon became a concern for the government, who persecuted the group of freethinkers until its dissolution was proclaimed in the 1780s. But conspiracies say that the society survived to incite the French Revolution and other major events in history. Similar work continuing to this day, having grown to a point of being able to influence the government of the world. But yet, very little reliable evidence can be found to support the idea that the group still exists. Number 5, fraternity. Saturn, Miss Roman 8, Saturday. The Brotherhood of Saturn was founded in Germany in 1828 by Eugene Gross, aka Gregory A. Gregory. Grandmaster until his death in 1964, now an iconic figure for the law. He instigated concerns for esotericism, mysticism, and magic in the cosmos. Fraternity works nowadays for spiritual evolution of humanity, with ideas of freedom, tolerance, and fraternity. It remains one of the most influential, oldest, continuously running magical groups in Germany. Number 4, Rosicrucian Order. The Rosicrucian Order, the Order of the Rosecrans, was founded in Germany in the 13th century by the illuminated father, mysterious man named Christian Rosenkreuz. According to three anonymous manifestos found and published in the early 17th, which raised great interest of the people. Based on the cult beliefs of ancient times, the documents claim to provide insight into nature and the universe. It's a highly secretive society with the mystic and alchemical knowledge of the order forbidden to the average man, and only accessible to an elite, among which have been great names like Isaac Newton. Aim for universal reformation of mankind, Rosicrucianism was revived in the early 19th century. It acted as a large influential group called the All Ancient and Mystical Order of Rosicrucians. It owns administrative buildings, Egyptian temples, art galleries, science museums, and planetariums. Number 3, Adam Brotherhood. Adam Brotherhood is a Germanic neo-pagan secret society devoted to preserving the traditions of pre-Christian paganism. Claimed to have been founded in 1421, it is based on ancient Nordic traditions, values of knowledge, freedom, and power. It relies on the Norse mythology, amongst which the most venerated figures are the Wonder. The community today is divided between two poles. Atomism is starting at first being widely criticized for its radicalist ideas. Once a highly secret organization, it now contacts and selects its members freely. The Brotherhood recently regained popularity as an open membership to request. It was even observed putting new atomists in prison. Number 2, Freemason. Freemason is a global fraternal organization of history can be traced back to 1390. Through several Masonic lodges derived from ancestral fraternities of stonemasonry. Organized Freemasonry began when groups of lodges joined together in the 1700s, establishing rituals and degrees of knowledge built around the belief of a great architect. Once elected, the Mason is forbidden to disclose the details of his membership to the public. Today, it has at least 5 million members scattered all around the globe, including political and entertainment personalities. Who secrets he has inspired conspiracy theories, satanic practices to the world alike. Number 1, Ordo Templi Orientis. The first traces of this mystic order appeared in 1904, although its origins were the state of actually unknown. OTO became more widely known when the English author and codist Aleister Crowley joined in 1912. Quickly became the Grand Master of the order before moving into his mother, Tuli Thyroid. He introduced new magical ceremonies inspired by ancient cult organizations like the Hermetic Brotherhood and Masons, as well as unbridled sexual practices within the community, which earned him the name of the wickedest man in the world. Aleister Crowley's death, other controversial figures like Gerald Gardner joined in the still with witchcraft teachings to the group. The fame of these iconic leaders allowed OTL to attract many new followers in recent years, growing a large community of worshippers. Though many other secret organizations are suspected to pull the strings of the live scales behind the scene that we are not seeing. Be conscious and be aware and be awake.
Say, can black people be racist and stuff? No, black people can't be racist and stuff because they don't have the power to actually make their prejudiced opinions law. And that's what racism is, being able to make your prejudiced opinions law and stuff. if I don't like white people, it's just my opinion. I'm not gonna stop nobody from getting a job. I'm not gonna stop nobody from getting a loan. I can't keep someone from going to a restroom or eating at a certain restaurant or going to a movie theater. Things of that nature where you can affect people economically, mentally, spiritually. Black people don't have the power, never had the power to affect, the white population in totality, economically and stuff. That's what racism is and it does and stuff.
Of the world's most secret societies.
Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. I've got presents for everyone. Let's see what I have in my bag here.
'Twas the night before Christmas and all through the past, the regulars was bawling and staring like mad. When all of a sudden someone kicked in the door, people dove under the tables who had seen him before. He was a $30 Stacy and a dog's coat hat, a Louis Ross suit and a 45 cat. And this is what he said.
Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Akil the MC. Yeah, I just want to talk to y'all for a second. I know a lot of people celebrate the holidays, and much respect, for all those people who feel like family is it's a family-oriented time and stuff, and that's cool because I'm with family and stuff. I have a big family myself, so I understand, what it's like, to be off work and want to hang out with your loved ones and whatnot and stuff, Well, at the same time, let's just keep it real. Just keep it 100. Keep it real. If you really want to hang with the family, you don't have to do it on a holiday and stuff, And not just because you got a day off work that you're going to just, hang on that excuse that it's just a day off of work and whatnot and stuff. Because, you get plenty of days off work sometimes and stuff, You just don't make a holiday out of it and stuff. You rather go hang out with your homies or, whatever you're going to do, your homegirls or your family members maybe, but most of the time you ain't gonna do that and stuff, So don't act like it's a family day because most of y'all don't even act like family. Most of us, are not family throughout the whole year, and then we get to, Christmas and Thanksgiving or whatnot, and we want to claim family or whatnot and stuff, For me, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results and stuff, I think black people have been celebrating Christmas since, I want to say maybe like 5 or 6 years after slavery ended. I want to say like 1870 or 1871. I think Christmas was officially created in America as a holiday and stuff. Before then, it was actually banned in some places and stuff. So black people have been celebrating Christmas since at least like the 1870s and stuff. So all that tells me is that black people have been spending money that they don't got since 1870 for somebody's birthday that's a mystery. Most people think that me banging on the holidays and Christmas and stuff is me as a Muslim banging on Christianity or Christians or Jesus himself. And that is so far from the truth and stuff, But most people are just going to hang what I say and what I post on that and stuff, and that's cool. Got sensitive people out there that's sensitive about their beliefs and stuff, which is cool. It's no problem and stuff, But what is a problem is that you're blaming the wrong person. You should be blaming these people that even created the idea that Jesus was born on December 25th. When you can find it nowhere in the Bible. You always have those that are religious people that will say, well, show it to me in my book. Well, I'm asking you, Show me where Jesus' birthday is on December 25th in the Bible. I'll wait.
We have friends who do not celebrate Christmas because they say December 25th is really a pagan holiday. While I agree that Jesus may not have been born on December 25th, he certainly was born as described in the Bible. How do I respond to them?
Well, in a sense, tell them they're right. You see, the winter solstice a couple of days later was the shortest day of the year, and the pagans had something called Saturnalia. And it was a time of lawlessness because all the laws were suspended. And people, a bunch of singers actually wandered the streets naked singing. And then they had orgies, sexual orgies. It was a mass thing. Well, when the Catholic Church came along in Italy, the Romans and others didn't want to give up their holidays. So they said, okay, we'll Christianize it. And so they said, okay, we'll say the birth of Jesus was the 25th of December.
So if I say that he wasn't born on that day, am I lying?
To say it's the 25th, shepherds were out abiding in the field. It gets a little cold at night. I mean, were they out there in the middle of winter? I don't know. I've been out there on the shepherd's field on Christmas Eve. It's very nice, but it's cold. And nevertheless, I mean, what was going on? So all this business about mistletoe, pagan. Christmas trees, pagan. Giving out gifts, pagan. Every bit of it is pagan. Every single bit of it is pagan. We've Christianized it all.
How is it that I'm banging on your beliefs? Because I'm speaking the truth. He wasn't born on December 25th. You don't even know when he was born. And the date that was created by men, they don't know and stuff. So doesn't that tell you something right there? You're just going to pick any date? For real? And the thing about a birthday is that if it's this person's birthday, then why are you giving presents to everybody else? If he is the gift to the world, why is everybody else got their hand out for some presents on Christmas? Your kids, on down to mother-in-laws, on down to cousins, on down to boyfriends, girlfriends, and people put demands on people. And if you don't get them something for Christmas and stuff, we'll just start with the kids and stuff. Try not getting your kids something for Christmas that you have taught them this belief system and this thing, this tradition that goes on every year. Try not getting them something for Christmas. Try to say, oh, we finna do something different, baby. We're not gonna celebrate Christmas this year and stuff. What you have implanted in their head prior to that is an oxymoron. It goes against everything that you led them to believe. You giving them presents every year like they have to get. And the narrative is that you're not going to get presents, or Santa's not going to visit your house if you've been bad all year.
Alright guys, you've been really good this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you behaved very good today?
Yeah.
Alright, we decided that we're going to give you a couple of your presents early. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, so if you look behind you at the Christmas tree, you're going to see two presents. There's tags on there. The red one, Fabricio, is yours. Alessandro, you have the white one. Okay, go ahead and pick them up and come over here on the couch. Open it up.
Not doing it.
Open it up, Fabricio.
No.
What's the matter? But you like Brave. You like the movie. It's from that movie. What's the matter?
You still gonna get them something for Christmas. So stop playing the games. Why are y'all playing games with these kids? You wonder why when they get older they don't believe in nothing that you told them and stuff, because you just told them a lie from the beginning, from the get-go. Then they find out it's not true. So what is true? But it was all fun and games, and we're doing it for the kids. You're doing it for the kids. If you're really doing it for the kids, then you will wake up and then you will let the kids know that each year, each Christmas, how about not get something? And how about the next day? When the price is down, I can get you two things for the price of the one thing that I was paying. Or at another time, we can wait 10 years. We can wait 10 Christmases. You ain't gonna spend the money that you would spend for this time. Grip for money sitting there for when that child comes. Now you have something to get that kid something. Not something because you got them something for Christmas and stuff. Maybe some toys. You get them shit all year long. Stop acting like you're being a hell of a role model by giving some goddamn.
Damn, my bad for that, y'all.
You know, when your presence as a person, a parent, you know, in your child's life is more valuable than some presence.
Facts.
Your presence, you being there.
Facts.
A lot of men are locked up in jail around this time and stuff because they're trying to get something because they want to get the baby mama drama off their back because they ain't gave the child nothing all year long or couldn't for whatever reasons. I'm not blaming them. For whatever reasons they couldn't do it. So now the pressure is on as soon as they single in. Damn, I gotta get something. I gotta be able to come through this Christmas. I ain't came through all the past 5 Christmases and stuff. So I'm tired of being a deadbeat dad. Or so-called being looked at as a deadbeat dad and stuff, you know. And so I gotta get something. Well, you know, then it becomes December 15th. Time is ticking. It comes December 20th. Oh shit. I really gotta do December 22nd. Oh my fucking god, I still don't got it. December 23rd. Oh my god. What am I going to do? Everybody start looking like that cartoon now and stuff, you know, when they so damn hungry, they start looking at each other. One of them turn into a hot dog, one of them turn into a chicken and stuff. You know, that's how we get. You know, I can only speak for black men and stuff that feel this type of pressure and stuff, and I can't even speak for it for myself and stuff because one thing I did, and I'm so thankful that I came into the knowledge of not following these damn holidays before I had children and stuff, is that when my children was born, they wasn't born into this bullshit. So I ain't never had that pressure. I ain't never had that pressure and stuff. I don't know what I would have did with 5 kids at Christmas time, you know? And I done been through some stuff, so and Christmas ain't one of them. So I'm so glad that I didn't have to go to that stress. I feel for y'all that's going through that.
Mary White, who gives a fuck about Saint Nick? Satan with his claws and his devilish gifts. I wish I would catch Santa, tipsy off the whiskey. Climbing down my chimney, a bullet in his head would be the remedy for all my childhood memories. Now what the tree got to do with nativity? You know the birth of Christ, Mary's son, Messiah to the so-called chosen one. Somebody once told me that this world was full of give and take. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take what I give. It take a lot to live. It takes so much with the wife and 4 kids. I'm taking advantage and never taking for granted though. They gon' take and keep taking, mistakenly taking. Take time to fuck up your mind and keep taking. Take this, take that, take that, take this, take all this bullshit. They gon' give a nigga hell, give it to a nigga swell. Give it to you raw, give it to you in jail. Give it to you in the streets, give it to you in the club, nigga, give it up. We gon' give you what you asked for. Give it like the franchise tax board. Give it all I got and still they want more. Want me to give my life for the war? No. Yeah, they gon' take you from your family. Don't take it as a fantasy. Take it as a stakes inside. They taking desperate measures. To take your pleasure, take your cheddar. Yeah, they give you an ultimatum while you're giving time waiting. Giving all your patience while they give a nigga Nathan. Give a nigga 2 faces, 2 court cases. 1 false statement, yo, judgment for the plaintiff.
Man, they gave a nigga a deal, so you know I had to take it.
And if you don't give it,
From the director
You're Forrest Gump.
I got beat up because I was different.
Welcome to hope.
So I created a world where I can be whoever I want to be.
Trying to breathe through it fast, but I don't want to cut it off without hearing the whole video and every word.
Allah. Allah the merciful. Allah the all-powerful. Allah the compassionate. Please hear my prayers. Allah.
Somebody once told me that this world was full of give and take. I was educated on a new term today on social media called blackfishing. Now, blackfishing is when it's white females that are masquerading themselves to look like Rachel Dolezal, but they're taking Rachel Dolezal to the next level. Now, what they're trying to do is look like racially ambiguous black women or black women who have a white parent. That's what they're trying to look like. So they put up the first picture. As you can see, on the right-hand side, that is the white girl right there. And then the left-hand side, that is what she masqueraded herself as on social media. Now, you may ask the question, why in the hell would she do something like this? She's doing it for attention. She's doing it for attention from black men, because white men is not asking her to dress this way. White men is not demanding this. She wants the attention that the black girls get, or the racially ambiguous black girls get. Now, if you look at the next picture here, this is another white female, and no, that is not Nicki Minaj. That's her, putting on all that paint on her face to masquerade to look like this. Now, for me, you that thirsty for likes? My thing is this. You know, you could put on that makeup and you could look like that all day long. And then you can wipe that mess off and still walk right back into your white privilege. Look at the next one here. Now, that when I saw that picture, I couldn't believe that. When I first saw it, especially the one at the bottom. I just couldn't believe that. I'm like, what makeup are they putting on? I was trying to figure that out. I mean, I say, well, how do they do with the hair? I mean, like, I don't know how they doing it, but you know, this is look like some witchcraft, sorcery. That's what it looked like to me. You literally morphing yourself into something else. What's wrong with being white? I thought what's them flyers they're passing around, them college campuses? I'm sorry, saying it's okay to be white. What's wrong with that? Why you sitting up there trying to masquerade yourself to get the attention of black people? Because their following, for what people are saying, is mostly black men and also black women. They want the attention. Now, Rachel Dolezal, she got clowned and called out, and I think they need to get clowned and called out as well. And there's many more pictures as well. If you go look on Twitter, there's some other, they morphing themselves, like even physically, to look like black women. Every day we look up, we see how certain people are just so obsessed with black people. Can't leave black people the hell alone no matter what they do. It is a very, very sick mindset. Now, yesterday we covered, two individuals, and I'm saying that very, very, very loosely when I say individuals, wearing blackface and putting on a Confederate flag, going to people's home, trick-or-treating. Well, now we have another one out of Sharonville, Ohio. And this particular picture that you see here, that is of a white woman, 25-year-old white woman. She went in blackface with a large red lips, polka dot
headscarf and an apron that read, "Get in my kitchen," as part of a mammy costume. Now, a black co-worker posted, "Hey everybody, I just want y'all opinion on this. She's a white woman and she came to UPS in Sharonville. Should she be fired?" Now, they never released her identity. They came out saying they have strict policies against discrimination, X, Y, Z. You know how that goes. But it's like this. I don't understand why racism is so important to people who have a white supremacist mindset. They know, blackface is wrong. They know the history of that. They created it. So why wouldn't they know? But maybe, like I say, maybe she's kin to Megyn Kelly too. And maybe she feel, blackface is okay. They do mammy, which is a slavery kind of stereotype. It's the mammy. And it makes you think.
Same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world.
5 must-have natural medicines for a total healthy body. Here is my disclaimer. I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional. It is completely illegal for me to say that any of these herbs will help cure you of any diseases or illnesses. I will let you be the judge of that. I will only give you the facts and examples that I have studied throughout the years. For some of you, this may be the most important video you'll ever watch. Share this with your loved ones that need it the most. If it's one thing I've learned, it's that health is wealth. You can be super successful and have all the money in the world, but if you aren't healthy enough to enjoy it, it is worthless. It is always easier to manifest the things you want when your body is healthy. I'm going to give you a list of natural herbs and medicines that's going to change your life forever. Each of these items can be purchased in a link in the description. Also, each of these items are exactly what I use on a regular basis. To be honest with you, since using them, I haven't had so much as a cold or a runny nose. And if I do, it doesn't even last a day. I must add that these supplements do not replace exercise. An active body is a healthy body. A body in motion stays in motion. And if you are holding negative thoughts, negative beliefs, anger, resentment, hatred, those energies have no choice but to eventually manifest as diseases and illnesses in the body. It is time to forgive. Healthy thoughts mixed with healthy foods equals a healthy, strong body. Here are the 5 herbs and medicines. 1. Sea moss. Sea moss, which is also known as Irish moss. This natural occurring substance is one of the most powerful in nature. It offers 92 of the 102 minerals of which the body is made. It is good for bones, your brain, muscles, thyroid glands, bad breath, respiratory illnesses, and it even dissolves fat. I take 2 tablets a day, 1 in the morning and 1 right before I go to bed. 2. Essiac tea. In the 1920s and 30s, Rene Cassie discovered that when you put certain herbal natural ingredients together, they do miraculous things. Essiac tea eliminates toxins, protects organs, purifies blood, and boosts the immune system. I use it in pill form, and it works wonders. Now, certain authorities even tried to ban Essiac tea, which makes it actually famous for one thing. But I can't discuss that here. You'll have to do your own research to find out. I highly recommend you take this to boost your immune system. 3. Elderberry. Elderberry was recommended by the great Dr. Sebi. There are tons of health benefits from elderberry, such as weight loss, eliminates constipation, promotes bone health, eliminates colds and flu, reduces blood pressure, boosts immune system, and so much more. And if I might add, the gummies are delicious. 4. Black seed oil. Black seed oil is known as the most powerful oil in the world. Some call it the anti-king because it is an anti-tumor, antibacterial, anti-ulcer, anti-inflammatory medicine. It even helps with opioid addiction and withdrawals. And last but not least, 5. Baking soda. Yes, baking soda. Baking soda, also known as sodium bicarbonate, is probably the most powerful, naturally alkalining substances on Earth. Once ingested in the body, it buffers acids and helps raise the pH. I train MMA, which is also known as mixed martial arts. And after taking a couple of tablets before I work out, I find that my stamina improves by 70%. That's because baking soda affects the pH of cells and tissues. It also balances cell voltage and increases CO2, all of which helps provide the body with oxygen. Baking soda has been a hidden method for curing and preventing certain diseases. But again, I cannot talk about that here. You'll have to do your own research. For me, I take sodium bicarbonate in tablet form, and I take about 6 or 7 a day. Yes, a day. These are the 5 kings of the herbal world. I take all 5 of these natural substances, and I can attest to their healing properties. You can find a link to purchase all 5 in the description below. Again, do your own research and share this wonderful knowledge with your family and friends. And remember, health is the ultimate form of wealth. This is Justin from You Are Creators, and we support your dreams.
Good stuff, Bubba. Good stuff. Let's see what you want to try to breeze through now. I don't want to be on here too long.
had many, numerous attempts on their life while they were trying to get the word out there. He probably did his a totally different way. He was under the radar for a moment before they got wind of what he was trying to do. And boy, did that piss them off, as you can see. He caught numerous charges as his career kept advancing, kept picking up charges, lawsuits, being sued all across the board for all sorts of things. It ain't right.
Alright. We ain't really gonna watch this one right here or that one. That's just scary abandoned places in the world and shit. I think it's a song right here.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, but he kills it though.
Hallelujah. It's for you, y'all. Wake up in the morning and get some knowledge. I got knowledge and I don't need college. Wake up in the morning and get some knowledge. I got knowledge and I don't need college. I got the best knowledge and that's from the Most High. I really don't trust the soul cause most lie. That's why I do my own studies, now y'all know why. We gotta do that anyway and that's no lie. We gotta show ourselves approved, baby. I'm waiting on Esau's day cause life is like too crazy. Hebrews chapter 8 verse 10, that proves we gon' be brand new, baby. Ruling in peace as kings and queens. So we ain't got a school in the streets. Know what I mean? Wake up. I'm talking to the bloodline of Jacob. This is all facts. This ain't nothing I gotta make up. Listen, I'm spitting this is spirit and truth. Right in my house in front of my TV. I don't need no booth. I'm not doing this to start no waves. I'm doing this because hopefully your soul gets saved. We gotta rightly divide the word. The Most High knows the sheep. And hopefully I'm part of the herd. We gotta stay grounded. And we gotta stay humble. When we got our eyes on the prize, we won't stumble. We gotta speak up for the truth. Do not mumble. There's a lot of people telling their own story. That's the chapter 6 for their own glory. But the Most High gonna make them feel sorry. That's the chapter 18, verse 6. Part 2, part lie, do not mix. Yahuwah is not the author of confusion. These people are under a very strong delusion. Wake up in the morning and get some knowledge. I got knowledge and I don't need college. Wake up in the morning to get some knowledge. I got knowledge and I don't need college. Wake up in the morning to get some knowledge.
Back on with another attack. Now we go break into this so-called dude. Yes, right there, as you can see, Los Angeles, city of the angels, fallen angels. No doubt about it. No disrespect to nobody that's lived there, but that's what it is. No doubt about it. Now this guy wanted to turn into a genderless person, so-called, or a genderless alien. We go get into it, because of course, it's another programming for the dumb masses.
23-year-old Vinny O is...
You can see him right there, 23-year-old, right on the satanic number, okay? 2-3 Freemasonry, as you can see him right there with the funny hair on the head.
making it his mission to become a real-life alien.
My goal...
Look at his fingernails right there, like a damn drag. That's how they do it, 100%. Not like a female, but drag, overdo it every damn time. Here we go.
In regards to my look is to become an exact scientific proportioned sexless human being.
Sexless human being. So what you want them to call you? He, she, or it? I bet you won't like it if somebody call you it. But this is how they do it right here. Fucking with the masses. With these dumb people right here. Satanic puppet. 100% probably wearing a mask on the dumb people.
Vinny grew up in a small town in Oregon, never feeling like he quite belonged. So at age 17, he packed his bags and went in search of new adventures.
I moved to LA at a really young...
Always telling the people those type of shit. Yes, 17-year-old, he decided to pick up and go. Just take himself up and just leave and end up somewhere else. Of course, he's full of shit. As you could see the clock right there. The hands, one is on 12, one is on 3. No doubt about it for your 6'3". No doubt about it. That's how it is. No doubt. 312, 36. No doubt.
Age and moving here, everything was always about sex appeal. And when I think of alien, I think of like ugly.
Alien. So you want to be an alien. this is a dumb shit they're pushing on the masses, no doubt about it. What the fuck is this? A arse? Wow, all satanic symbols on the masses.
And I think of like ugly, like aliens don't really have genders in my eyes at least. And I just
alien doesn't have gender in your eyes at least. When you ever see an alien, it's just dumb shit they're pushing on the masses. 100% as you can see right there. Doing the one-eye symbol. Yes, in the mirror. All satanic shit.
I connected with it.
Since moving to LA, Vinny has found new motivation and belonging in his pursuit of alien perfection.
A rubber man, a plastic man, what the fuck is this? On the black and white checkerboard floor. All Freemasonry teaching they give the masses right here. Wow.
And through his work as a makeup artist.
There you go, makeup artist for this sodomite right here. They call the human Ken doll right there with all the plastic surgeries in the world, trying to get the masses to hook on it just like them. Man in a drag right there, 100%. All of them made up, no doubt.
To get my alien look, I spent around about $60,000. I've had around about
60,000. Six right there on the money. People, you better wake up. It's all by design. Every number that he give you, right here.
110 procedures. I've had around about 110 procedures. 3 surgeries, 110 procedures.
Okay, bam. You hear that? 110. What's that give you in numerology? 11. 3 procedure. 3 11s. 33. Bam. There you go. Of course, they gonna give
procedures.
You. There you go. One eye symbol. That's how they do it. 100% in.
But now Vinny wants to push his plastic
look like a damn bird when you wet him up. No doubt about it.
Surgery journey even further to where no man or woman has ever gone before.
I'm looking to have gender unassignment. I'm looking to change my genitals so that way there is nothing there. Just
gender reassignment. Gonna remove the genitals so nothing there. So you can be no human being at all. You're gonna be an alien. A marathon.
Alright, I want to start skipping through these.
Now,
so I get the message. I'm pretty sure y'all saw the title. So if y'all want to hear more, go check the channels out. It's a bunch of the channels I've learned from and follow, subscribe to.
Yeah, Mag always on. You already know. Come on in. Of course we here.
Oh, you see the title up there.
Yeah. What's gonna go down? Of course. Ain't no cancer in the show today. It's all good. We in. Just a little bit late. See if everybody can catch up. Yeah. Yes, it's the Mag in the building. You already know. Everybody come in, man. Live on. You already know. Get ready right quick.
Oh, it's not that long anyway. No, I forgot he took this long to start talking about this.
Okay. It's a schedule.
Oh wait, I don't even know why I would save that video.
He requires. Black people need to rediscover. I can't think of any time that Eric Holder had. Oh, he's so bold now. Oh, he's got a big. White people love being scared. Part of the reason why every time you look up, there's some horror movie that's #1 at the box office, and it seems to be a license to print money. They love having something that they can be afraid of, whether it's real or not. Especially when it comes to fantasy, that's part of the reason why they spent so many hundreds of years putting as much effort as they can into the biggest bogeyman of them all, the big, bad, black man, who's always waiting to do them in. He's always just around the corner. He's their perennial favorite bogey. And of course, completely false. But you know what? White folks ain't the only ones who like being scared with or without genuine cause. Black people apparently have the exact same kinky fetish. Black folks apparently need something to be scared of too. And in our current condition and what we've been through the last 500 plus years, yeah, there's a lot for us to be afraid of, genuine things that we should be afraid of, but we seem to just keep getting them wrong. You see, the white society, they happen to have resources, so they've got the luxury of being able to be foolish and capricious about what it is that they're afraid of. They can be right or wrong and not really pay much of a price. Black folks, on the other hand, you would think would have figured out that we don't have any sort of luxury like that. If you're going to be afraid of something, it needs to be something that you actually ought to be afraid of. But black folks, nah, we're waiting for white folks to tell us what to be afraid of. There are black folks who are actually thinking that we have some sort of stake in the national elections going on. Notice the wording that I'm using. The national elections. Statewide races. You're getting all hot and bothered, and I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. Can you tell me any of these electoral races that you're getting all hot and bothered over, and no one's come up to you with any sort of tangibles? You know what the rules are. You've known what the rules are for a long time, and you should know what they are at least the last 5 or so years, where we've been hammering into your head nonstop that black folks, we don't vote unless the candidate has come to us, told us what black people are going to get, not people of color, not minorities, not inner city, not all the code words that they use so that they could talk around you and make you seem like a fool because you're just implying that they meant black when they never said it. No. Black vote is not going to be mobilized unless someone comes up to you and says, here's what black people are going to get. That's the reason why I don't give a damn about that O'Rourke character in Texas, and I don't care about the black woman who's running for governor of Georgia, and I don't care about what's his name down in Florida. None of these people have come up to black folks and said, here's what black people are going to get. So here you are telling yourself, but they're black. So was Barack Obama. How'd that work out? So's the Congressional Black Talkers. How'd that work out? You gotta stop dealing from a position of fear and start dealing from a position of force. Force requires power. And power is something that black folks are still trying to grasp the fundamentals of at this late date, still trying to grasp the basics. Amazing. Most of these Negroes who you see bothering to go vote this midterm, they're doing so because white power has scared them into re-engaging with a system that never gave a damn about black people in the first place. Voting is supposed to be a proactive action, not a reactive. It is.
And that's
you
why
know,
I
it's
don't
really
vote.
refreshing to see how some people
Haven't
get
since I was
treated in
probably
the good
20
old
years old.
KKK USA. Now, you guys have no doubt heard the case of this kid, Keaton Jones, some middle schooler, who was claiming that he had been bullied at school, and apparently somehow this became a thing. It wound up trending. And people have been going out of their way to show that they want to wrap their arms around this little kid, blah, blah, blah. You've had everybody from athletes to celebrities. Everyone's making him the belle of the ball. He's become a cause celeb, and all because he did a video where he's crying about being bullied in school. Well, there's nothing wrong with a kid deciding to vent his emotional angst. There's nothing wrong with him saying that he's being done wrong, and there's nothing wrong with people sympathizing with him, but it's just one of those cases of how long before the other shoe dropped? Well, it wasn't long at all, because it turns out that Keaton Jones' mother, Kimberly Jones, has been an online white supremacist. She loves to post pictures of the Confederate flag, and she also loves to have little signs on her postings that say, we stand for the flag. But then again, why wouldn't she stand for the flag? Because the flag and the country it represents has handed her everything she doesn't have on a silver platter. But lest we forget, there's also some questions now about young Keaton Jones himself. There are people who have been insinuating that the reason that he might have gotten beaten up at school is because he's been following in his mama's footsteps. Apparently, according to some of the scuttlebutt, none of this is necessarily confirmed, though it was implied on Kimberly Jones' Facebook page. The young Keaton Jones apparently likes to throw around racial slurs and
Your smartphone alarm wakes you up every morning. You check all the latest news on your tablet and rush to work in your fancy new car. Can you imagine what your life would be without all those gadgets and electronics? The 20th century was full of inventions that shaped the modern world and our lifestyle. However, it often takes years of trial and error for a discovery to become something no one can go without. And some discoveries were lost at that trial and error stage. It might look like a couple of dementors from the world of Harry Potter were just passing by and tried to suck these ladies' souls out. No worries, their souls were unharmed, and so was their makeup. Meet Blizzard Cones. Before waterproof mascara was invented, ladies were offered these special masks as a way to protect their makeup from the elements. Designed in 1939 in Montreal, Canada, this fabulous device never took off. God alone knows why. Number 2 is neither a Mad Hatter's favorite accessory nor a torture device. It came out around the same time as the Blizzard Cones in the 1930s and was a German engineer's invention. Back in the day, the radio had enabled its owner to listen to music and read the news at the same time. It was successful, particularly in the US, but not for long. It went off the market in 1955 and was replaced by the new invention, the transistor radio. Remember we mentioned the trial and error method? This is probably how modern smart glasses were invented. The teleglasses
people all over the planet are waking up.
Guy right here is different. He remind me of somebody I know from the hood. But the way he talks is like you went to science school or school for something. The way you just speak is like fluent. Like, it's not like you read anything, like you already got it on his head.
encapsulate
Sometimes it
brand,
be
or is it something
on
more?
another level I ain't really on, but most of the time I'm on the same page. It makes sense and shit. But skip that commercial.
Boss bitch, for sure. Listen to the Mind of an Terry's Move. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And we're gonna talk about what the fuck is belief. That's right, what the fuck is belief? And be careful what you believe in. That's right, be careful what the fuck you believe in. Because belief, you need to know that belief is not backed and supported by what you believe in. Belief is actually the power that your spirit has. Your power, your spirit has the power of belief. That's what you need to understand. So when that believing is like coming after the fact, it's like the physical representation of belief. You know what I'm saying? So people wouldn't even be able to understand this concept. It's too logical. And this is what I mean by that, right? Whatever you're believing in, you're vibrating. So you're being in that state of being. So you're vibrating in that lie. You see what I'm saying? Now, when we talk about belief is just the tool that you have in general to even reach that state. So before you can even start believing in something, you have to have some form of belief. Now, a lot of y'all get y'all belief from other spirits, a lot of other people and things of that nature. But based upon where you get your belief from, that be the frequency, that be the concept, that be the overall idea. And then your ability to vibrate, aka resonate, aka experience those frequencies, those angels, or things of, or those godly natures and things of that nature. So don't get misled when I said angels and godly natures. A lot of y'all have misinterpretations of these things. I don't care how smart and how wise and how long you went to school. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, belief is the attribute that you use to be able to start believing into something. So when you believe in it, you're vibrating in that energy state. So you catch the energy signature, you catch the frequency, aka you have the actual ability of belief. And then once you get a structure, once you get a belief, you know what I'm saying? Now you can start believing in that belief. So, that's just some psychology for y'all for the most part. Now, this is what you need to understand. Before we even get deep into this video, what is believing? Believing is being in a lie. You know what I'm saying? You need to know that the English language is very young. You know what I'm saying? It's been institutionalized, and it's like an accumulation of a lot of other languages. But I don't give a fuck if it's a language in general. It's part of the masculine energy, and it's malefic to a certain degree, to the point that it creates structures to become physical. Now, this is what you need to understand when we're talking about believing, being in a lie. Now, for the most part, you are living in a lie. Everything is a lie. And once a lie starts, it cannot stop, so it accumulates. So this is what you need to understand. What is a lie in general? Now, your imagination, right? Now, you might be thinking of something right now that may not be realistic, quote-unquote realistic, based upon the realm of reality that you are in. But for the most part, you can still imagine certain things. So these things that you are imagining that may be far out, you may call it unrealistic or not a part of reality. So a lot of people, a lot of real logical theologians and scientific people will probably watch my page and be like, well, he's not realistic, or he's not basing anything on reality or things of that nature. So that's what you need to understand. When we talk about a person going too far into their imagination or their dream and thought, a lot of times these are not realistic. But I'm trying to get you to understand, as a fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional intergalactical being like myself, Archangel Uriel, these things are physical and they can be measured in a certain realm of reality.
So I can go check
not
them
in your
out.
dimension. And if you understand that you're in
Name
the
right
third
there.
dimension, and you understand
Dolo, the
what things can
pilot,
be
man.
perceived in the third dimension, it has to have certain dimension,
He be
certain
going
shape,
in
certain
on him.
form,
He be going in.
certain light boss, bitch, for sure. Listen to the Mind of an Terry's Move. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about how to understand the universal God's nature. The universal God's nature. You see what I'm saying? Because for the most part, you have a bunch of examples out here that may not be right, and people are being led by certain things that may be leading them astray. Now, for the most part, don't worry about this, because this is going to be at the end when we bring it all together. Because you have a lot of entities, aka deities, that's mimicking this actual space and location right here. What you need to know, the space and location is vortexing in its own way, and it puts out an energy signature, which is really the original energy signature that everything is copying, and even to the point that the spirits you're following. So for the most part, we won't get into that though. Now, this is what you need to understand right here. Don't worry about this, because this is where spirits are birthed from, the 7th, 8th, and 9th dimension. So right here, you got this. Now, this is a God being, right? So look at this right here. This is a God being. Now, for the most part, here's the thing. A God being is nothing more, nothing less but like a human being or animal being. or, you know what I'm saying, any kind of different type of species, but this is a being that live on a higher frequency, a higher vibration than you may live in.
Alright, yeah,
So
go check them out if y'all want.
right, absolutely.
It's my channel right here. Not my channel, but I'm saying, you know what I mean. I enjoy watching this lady, I ain't gonna lie. She speaks so softly, you know what I'm saying? Calm. Don't be boasting or loud, cocky.
Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Black woman's hair. There has been, to me, an all-out assault on the Black woman's hair. And it is definitely something that needs to be looked into and explained because it is actually in Scripture. The Bible talks about one of the things that was going to plague the so-called Black woman was her hair, her scalp, and the health of it. So I want to talk about this. I want to get into this and I want to show you some things that are going to be quite disturbing. Okay? There are many images on the internet that are showing the condition of Black women's hair, and it's due to the things that are being promoted to us or advertised to us. You see images of Black women's hair falling out, and there are so many different things that they're putting in their hair. You're seeing the scalps burned. You're seeing these wigs and lace.
And this is why I say, can't ignore racism. You know what I'm saying? My godmother is white, godfather, so it ain't about the races, but it is about the race, but it's about the racism, you know what I'm saying, that's going on, being put into local neighborhoods like candy, the food, hair products, anything like that, just to destroy, you know what I'm saying, a group of people that they don't like based off of color. So, gotta be aware of it, put it out there, you know what I'm saying, so people can fight that too. So, you know what I'm saying, part of the cause of, you know what I mean, of having good in this world and shit, righteousness. People hopefully will follow that. You know what I mean? But that's the whole purpose to me, I think. Just like anybody that show these type of videos. And anybody that watch them, and that's why I gotta spread it too and pass it along, because, you know what I mean, it's deep stuff. And that's a baby right there, that's sad. And if you know any better, you know the products they got, you know what I'm saying, Black people, African American, whatever you want to call it, Negro, whatever you feel, you know what I'm saying, or just really human beings, you know what I mean, but you see those type of covers on the box, whatever. That's the way where, you know what I'm saying, they brainwash you to thinking that it's made for you because there's somebody that's the same complexion as you on the box. And that's all bait also. You know what I mean? I call it bait because, yeah. And, yeah, so just, I mean, don't be buying it. Anyway, let's go into the next one.
Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, and cryptocurrencies.
Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. Once again, man is playing God. Okay? They are trying to modify the lungs of pigs to be used in humans. So what I want to do is I want to share this video with you. There's a clip explaining exactly what they're trying to do, and I will be right back.
You're going to learn something today.
At this point, an animal or a human wouldn't have any problems to use those lungs as a replacement for human lungs.
Crazy.
So as you see, mankind is playing God yet again. God, as the world calls him.
I go check the rest of this out on her page.
But
Redirecting.
they are trying to play God.
Very nice
Trying to
person
utilize
videos I like
the
watching.
lungs of an animal an abominable animal.
Deep though, that's deep.
Now,
You gonna keep it going because I need to sleep. I remember when I first heard this, I was ready to protest for people like, yo, stop going to me eating it. And I stopped eating before I even saw this video. I haven't eaten McDonald's in probably 6-7 years. Just because really I fell back from the burgers.
He went missing a year ago, and his parents still have no idea what happened
show
to
that
him.
picture up. You know, this really hit me, this story, because this young lad came home from school, took his jacket off, changed his clothes, went to the bank, withdrew £200 from his savings account. He's never been seen since. 14 years old. And you know, there's 100,000 children go missing a year under 16. 100,000. And the parents are absolutely beside themselves with worry. I have no idea what's happened to him. And the suspicion is that he's on the streets of London because he was seen in a CCTV camera film wandering around.
You would think would make the news all the time.
You would think so, and I guess that's the problem. Just too many. And when you read the story, it really does pull at the heartstrings.
And the family background before, there was
no issues. Can't understand why. A bit unhappy at school, but no real problems. And then you read their heartwarming story. There's nothing they can do to get him back.
His name is Andrew Gosden, and there
Anybody's
he is.
Seen him?
Yeah.
it's such a torment, isn't it?
And, I know you know because I've heard it on your show before. I mean, we steal 100 to 300,000 children a year just here in this country. And we drain the blood and we mix it with a Passover blood. And then we throw the bodies into the slaughterhouses that we own. And we grind up all the bodies in the sausage and the hamburger. McDonald's is one of our favorite outlets. And the people, they eat it for breakfast. They eat their children for lunch. And, us Jews, we gotta do what we do. The most important thing to remember between you, Pastor Wickstrom, and me, Rabbi Eddie Finkelstein of New York, that we both have two fathers, and so that's why we look at the world in two different ways. Good job right now. Yes, you've done a pretty good job, but there's quite an awakening coming, and my father, who's not your father, my father Yahweh, who isn't your father, of course, your father is talked about by my father in John 8:44, stating that your father was Satan and that you're the descendant of Cain, who was the first murderer. And you know that's true because you teach it in your synagogue. Well, that's true, but it's not for you, Goyim, to know. But right now it's too late. It's over for your white race. So that's why I'm speaking so honestly here, to bring it out into the open so that you can see it for what it is. You've been teaching the people real good, but they don't wake up, do they? You don't get a lot of followers, do they? Because you know why? They're scared of us Jews because they don't want to be called anti-Semites, and they believe that we're the chosen people, and so that's why we can do whatever we want to do, and we can get away with it because the white men are cowards, and we go to the synagogue all the time and have some Manischewitz and dance the Hava Nagila. Well, that's very interesting. I understand it, but I also know the bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzah balls, and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover. Well, there was a Goyim that wrote a book about it back in the 30s. I forget his name at the moment. But anyway, he wrote the book. People didn't buy the book. People don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. Since down to Adam.
Be trying to tell people about this, how they gonna be traveling by boats and planes anymore. It's gonna be by the Hyperloop tunnel. Some gonna go about 4,000 miles per hour, I think. miles per hour.
Changed my whole way.
And right now they building one in California, right? And it's gonna do like 700 miles per hour, I believe, starting. But that's why they also doing what they're doing in California, destroying areas on purpose so they can rebuild and put certain things they want new as far as, you know, for the future coming. Though the future is now, but yeah. But we seen all this stuff from movies, man. And if you watch that TV show called 3%, you'll see it relates a lot to what they're trying to do and what's going on. They all got the chip in their back of their ear. Certain ones got to be able to sacrifice everything in order to live with the ones in the secret island and shit. Go check that show out on Netflix. 3%. Kind of has some messages in there.
Maryland gives Elon Musk a nod to begin Hyperloop project. If you build it, they will ride it. Maryland officials have given Elon Musk's The Boring Company the green light to dig tunnels for a Hyperloop project between New York and Washington. The Boring Company plans to dig a 10.3-mile tunnel between the state-owned section of the Baltimore-Washington Parkway, between the Baltimore City Line and Maryland 175 in Hanover. The company has developed tunneling machines that can efficiently drill through soft soil at only a fraction of the cost of traditional tunneling. According to Musk's estimates, a Hyperloop trip between Washington and New York would only take 29 minutes. The Boring Company wants to construct two 35-mile tunnels between Baltimore and Washington. The 10-mile section approved by Maryland will be the first section of the underground system. Like going fast?
Colorado route selected for Hyperloop One project. And the winner is Colorado. Well, one of them, that is. Hyperloop One has announced that Colorado is one of the 10 finalists in its global competition to identify the best potential Hyperloop routes. The proposed route would stretch 360 miles and link 10 urban centers around the state, with the potential to connect over 4.8 million people. A Hyperloop trip from Denver to Pueblo would take 15 minutes, while Denver to Fort Collins would take only 9 minutes. Denver to Vail would also be 9 minutes. Hyperloop One also selected 3 other U.S. routes as finalists: Chicago, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Miami, Orlando, and Dallas, Laredo, Houston. The company is planning for its first functional prototypes to be running as early as 2020.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. And there's ones being built to go from America to the UK, get you there in about, you said, an hour and a half. So you can imagine how fast that's going to be going. It's crazy. Let me show you how the water tunnels.
Underwater train tunnel in the world, a link between a country and a continent. Now, the channel on Modern Marvels. Modern Marvels. It used to be that the only practical way to get from England's famed White Cliffs of Dover across the English Channel to the French coast was by boat. The trip across the temperamental currents of the Channel could be unpredictable and unpleasant. Now, crossing the Channel is a 35-minute snap, a simple matter of shooting by train through the longest underwater tunnel in the world at speeds of up to 100 miles an hour. Passenger trains can now speed from Paris to London in 3 hours. Shuttles carry trucks and cars which drive aboard remarkable open-ended wagons and line up bumper to bumper.
It's quite a pleasant experience, actually. It's much nicer than travelling on a boat or the Sea Cat or anything else, because it's not so choppy. The weather's guaranteed down under the tunnel. So it's quite nice.
The Channel Tunnel, otherwise known as the Channel. It's not much to look at, this long, narrow corridor in the ground, but make no mistake about it. The Channel Tunnel is one of the engineering marvels of our time. It took an army of some 7,000 workers 7 years and almost $14 billion to drill this 31-mile link between England
They had to drill not one but 3 underwater tunnels in the harshest of environments, fighting bad rock, unexpected fissures, and serious leaks.
Alright, I can go check that out.
Bedrock that dips 150 feet.
See the title and the channel. I'm gonna go here.
If you're waiting patiently
Commercial.
for a liver transplant, it could cost you your life.
Yeah, like I said, I
It's time
found
to get out
a
of
lot
the
of
way.
these people because they build the same page or
At UPMC,
something. I mean, I feel I
donor
still should learn
transplants.
than other people, like I said before.
Part of a corporation, in it for the money. Starting off with hospitals. Hospitals, I feel like hospitals don't make you well. Experimenting on you, they want to draw lots of blood from you. I'm like saying to myself, what you need like 10 tubes of blood from you? You know, they're making money off of blood, believe it or not. They're making money. Okay, and not only that, you know, I know for a fact, and I want to tell y'all people, do research, on a lot of stuff, Like when I went to the hospital, they was trying to run the okey doke on me, and I'm not going for it. I researched everything, and I hit them with that shit, and they was like shocked. Okay, I'm not going to let them just do anything to me. I'm not going to be their lab rat. Okay, so I put that out there, and like I said in my previous videos, I have like every year, from the last 3 years, I had flare up, like 2 flare ups. It seemed like it happened once a year, and they never brought a chart back to show me what was going on with me. It's basically by word of mouth. They tell me, hey, you might have Crohn's, or you might have diverticulitis. And they're supposed to show you this, and that's why I said they're crooked. I can't go for it. Some people will be weak-minded or out of and be in pain and just take their word. And you can't take these bastards' words, excuse my profanity, because I get upset when they are not trying to make people well and people paying a lot of money and they're getting worse and getting better. You get what I'm saying?
Alright, we're just going through a couple of people. Now keep it going, right? Keep it going.
It's not a fair fight. Drug company bullies inflate prices, gouge us, spend millions on lobbying.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing out there in the YouTube world? This is Walking Journey. My name's Anthony here, and I'm here to report to you guys what is going on today. What is going on today is the following. As many of you are very aware of, I have a special needs daughter with multiple disabilities. And it's more than multiple. She has so many disabilities, it's kind of pointless to sit here and talk about what her disabilities are. But I am just astonished, and that's why some of you give me heat about saying this all the time. We live in an evil, satanic culture and system of governance. And I'm over here at Texas Children's Hospital, this place right here. Let me show you guys where I'm at. Reporting to you live, wherever you're watching this. I'm just here to warn you, not so much about this place, but it's just the whole system itself. Look, I've been going to a chiropractor. This is what happened. The doctor here wants to cut my daughter's spinal cord and her leg bones to supposedly reposition her knee, her pelvis and her knees in the correct position. And supposedly that's going to correct her legs to go straight. But the thing is, what does the muscles have to do with the bones? See, they think we're ignorant and stupid. I've actually educated myself in many aspects, and this is one of them. And not only this doctor, but the other doctor giving me a hard time why I don't vaccinate my kids. But that's a whole different one, right? So this doctor right here, which looks like a scumbag to me, I just can feel it. He's a bad person to begin with. Telling me that I have to cut my daughter's knee bones and cut her spinal cord to reposition everything back. So then I got a copy of the X-ray last time. Yeah, I can see it in the X-ray, right? So I came back for a follow-up. I was hoping that he was going to say that my daughter has improved, but by the looks of that he's such a bad person, I could feel it and I knew it. He was going to give me, like the Lord was telling me, because the Lord shows me a lot of things, that this man was going to tell me, no, my daughter hasn't improved. And yes, when I first came here, I could tell, and I was noticing myself, that my daughter kind of looked like her pelvis, like her chest wasn't lining up with her legs, you know, like her legs were like sticking out like this, right? And my daughter was limping when she was trying to walk. So what happened is I was really sad and bummed out when I had left this place about maybe 4 months ago. So I called my neighbor and I told him.
Alright, that was just a small clip about not trusting doctors, because I feel the same way. Just going through different people I'm subscribed to. Or better yet, save their videos, because I learned something after watching them. I like the way a lot of people break things down and all of that.
You know, you're supposed to control the weather. We don't fly bad weather, but we could see the weather over here. And I looked out the window, and that tornado came down just like this, down toward the ground. And Ken said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. You get back up there." And that tornado went. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Did you notice how she says that she and her husband, Kenneth, they can control the weather, but they don't fly in bad weather? If it is true that Gloria Copeland can control the weather by the words that she speaks, and by the way, it's not just Gloria Copeland. Many of the faith preachers claim to be able to do this. Jesse Duplantis, many of them do. Every year, thousands of people are killed in weather disasters, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods that cause mudslides, wildfires. Where are they? They can't do what they say they can do. They're liars. These people are not Christian.
As these programs are airing, I'm speaking something into existence.
They teach that we can do the exact same things that God can do. We can speak things into existence, create our own realities with the words that we speak, with the words of our faith. Dear friends, only God can speak things into existence. That is not an ability that you and I have.
You know, of course I believe in Christ as a Savior and all, but, you know, I think too, Glenn, I've spent a lot of time in India. You know, I've been with a lot of Hindu people. They're nice, kind, you know, people that love God as well. So,
no, Hindus do not love God because they do not know God. How can you love someone who you don't even know? And dear friends, Joel Osteen is doing no one any favors by telling the world that Hindus love God, especially not the Hindus. He continues to deny that Jesus is the only way to be saved. And so Joel Osteen is a false teacher. He is a false prophet.
See, Jesus was man until God touched him and put the Spirit of the living God on the inside of him. And that's encouraging today.
No, that's heretical today. That's heresy. Jesus was just a man until God touched him, put his Spirit on the inside of him. That's heresy.
And if you've never prayed in tongues, if you follow my instructions, the anointing is here to do the rest. I can't do it for you, but I can tell you how to pray in supernatural languages. I know you don't know what to say. Make little nonsense syllables up. They're not nonsense, but they're the first words coming out of your spirit. Do it faster. I said faster. I said faster. You can do it faster than that. If I had a gun in your ribs, you'd do it faster.
If this is something for which the Holy Spirit gives us utterance, why in the world would it ever be necessary to teach people how to do it?
And then I began to look up through the gate, and I could see this kind of pinnacle in the middle of the city. It's kind of a hill high and lifted up. There's a river flowing down the side of this, well, it's the river of life, and it's coming down the side of this mountain or hill, if you will, and at the top of that is the brightest light I've ever seen. And I know who that is. It's the Lord high and lifted up. This is his city.
The title of your book is 90 Minutes in Heaven, and you can't remember whether or not you saw God?
3 John 2 says, Beloved, I pray that you might prosper in every way, and that your body might keep well, even as I know your soul
There you go,
prospers
check him out. It's Justin
and keeps
Peters.
well.
I like the way they speak and just keep it calm and cool, and I'm saying expose or break it down.
Biological revolution was born. A young scientist called John Gurdon
Some
cloned
more
an
stuff to
animal from a
learn,
single
stuff I
cell
watch.
for the first time in history. Gurdon successfully transplanted the nuclei from tadpoles into egg cells to create an exact copy of a frog. Dozens of animal species have been cloned since Gurdon's breakthrough. In 1958, in a small lab at Oxford University, a biological revolution was born. A young scientist called John Gurdon cloned an animal from a single cell for the first time in history. Gurdon successfully transplanted the nuclei from tadpoles into egg cells to create an exact copy of a frog. Dozens of animal species have been cloned since Gurdon's breakthrough, from mice and rabbits to dogs, monkeys, and most famously, sheep, when Dolly became the first animal to be cloned from an adult cell in 1996.
I remember being I'm about to say a teenager when they first told me they cloned the sheep. So don't say cloning ain't real.
Scientists have marveled at the possibility of cloning humans.
This is the real true story.
The enormity of this feat cannot be
how it started.
To clone people, biologists face the challenge of harvesting precious human eggs and
How it's
sustaining a healthy egg cell
possible.
with the correct protein so it can survive and grow. In 2009, controversial Dr. Panayotis Zavos claimed to have implanted 11 cloned embryos into the wombs of 4 women. The pregnancies never took, and without enough satisfactory evidence, Zavos' work was dismissed as a publicity stunt. That same year, embryologist Severino Antinori went one step further when he claimed to have cloned 3 children. Antinori, too, was shunned for unethical practices and making false claims. But in 2013, a team of biologists led by Dr. Mitalipov in Oregon, USA, produced embryonic clones of a human being. After decades of failed attempts, science had finally committed the ultimate taboo. Using a technique called somatic cell nuclear transfer, biologists took the nuclei from human skin cells and transplanted them into eggs that had been stripped of their genetic material. The embryos weren't allowed to fully develop, but Mitalipov's experiment proved something monumental. Human cloning is, indeed, biologically possible. But some believe it's already happened. In 1995, scientists James Roble and Jose Gibelli transplanted some of Gibelli's cells into a cow's ovum to harvest stem cells. When the fertilized egg began to divide, Dr. Roble and Gibelli allowed the egg to reach the 32-cell stage before destroying it, which means that Gibelli's cloned embryo was close to becoming a fetus. Left to grow, Gibelli would have created his own lab-grown twin. Unbelievably, Roble and Gibelli's story only made it into a handful of newspapers. Some, like author Russ Kick, believe that because human cloning is such a contentious subject, the scientific community don't want to reveal that it's already happened. Even Dolly the sheep was over 6 months old
Gonna learn today.
Scientists announced the successful cloning of her. But playing God is not without its consequences. Medically speaking, therapeutic cloning can provide new cells for
I'd be into watching some
religious
stuff.
and if you're moderate to severe ulcerative colitis,
That's why I know that cloning thing is real. Just when they clone people, they're not as clever as the original version. They're a little slow, easy to hypnotize, brainwash, manipulate. That's a clone-made sheep. Seeing it right here. And they've been doing it since I was 16. Ever seen that movie about the guy that kept bringing his wife back? Every time he brought her back, it was a messed up version. He had to do it again. And he tried to bring her back as a little baby version. And she grew up too fast, and he wanted and died quick. Or you know, like the movies where they got the big water tank where human body is inside of there. There's a bunch of clones and shit. The movies be showing us this shit in messages, but they try to be mocking and make fun of us like, oh, they don't even know. But nah, I've been knowing since Total Recall, RoboCop and shit. Even before that. Keith Clark, that's his channel.
In 1958, in a small...
Yeah, what else? Oh, we watched some more.
I'm Jorge Ribas, and you're wondering. So here's a list of animals that have been cloned. Not on that list, humans. Yet.
So you say.
So just how important is cloning technology? And should we be worried about evil clone armies in the future?
Cloning has played a role far larger than I think it's likely to play in the future of science and medicine. The money, the ability to do something useful with cloning is probably over on the research side of cloning, not on the reproductive.
That means cloning to create stem cells that can grow into replacement organs. And while that's pretty cool, science fiction likes to take it one step further.
I think Hollywood is absolutely in love with the idea of human cloning. They can sort of use it as the archetypical villain. Cloning fears play on a couple of things. They sort of challenge our notion of uniqueness and individuality. They also sort of raise the issue of, well, how much of who we are can be duplicated or replicated or manufactured.
Like TVs or alarm clocks or cell phones or Pop-Tarts. Hey, look what I found. But even if a cloned person was created, that doesn't mean it would be an exact copy of the original.
We're not merely the kind of automatic readout of our genes. You should think of our genome as a kind of diary, but not a diary that has been written upon.
Which means that you, version 2.0, would have a very different set of experiences than the original you.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you dressed like that? I was at the pirate bar. They made me an honorary pirate. Arr. Is this thing still rolling? Where are you going? While some groups claim to have cloned human embryos or even delivered an actual cloned baby, there's no proof of it.
Any effort to try to make a baby by cloning, given the very, very high probability that the baby's going to be seriously abnormal, is just completely morally unjustifiable.
Both Murray and Kaplan support a ban on cloning for reproductive means, but neither think that ban should extend to stem cell research. So is there any chance we'll actually see a human version of Dolly the sheep?
We're going to have to prove that it can really be developed safely without death and deformity in animals. If that happens, then we might see someone try to clone a human being for, to have an offspring in 30 or 40 years.
Even then, Kaplan sees reproductive human cloning as a red herring for more pressing bioethical questions on the horizon.
I think what we need to be worried about is efforts to improve, enhance, and optimize human beings, either by putting technology into them or by changing their genetic makeup. I think we have much more to worry about with cyborgs than I do clones.
Oh, great. So instead of huge evil clone armies to deal with, we'll just have to worry about cyborgs.
I've told many about this, just in case something was to happen. And you couldn't survive in the city due to whatever's going on. If you're out in the woods, these are the ways you survive. Build stuff, make cement, underground places, everything. Without going to Home Depot. Or the hardware store, none of that. And these are like young kids. Some do this by themselves. See, of course, he took a rock, like the old Indian style, sharpened the stake with the rock, the tip of it to it's like a dagger. Well, a lot of these channels I suggest if you want to learn some stuff. Man. Trying to skip through, you can see. He dug that whole cave right there inside of a rock with that stick. Plus, this video too long to watch anyway. But yeah, I see it. Did that all by himself. I can go check that channel out. It's Primitive Technology. Build underground hut system on the cliff. Let me show y'all some more. See how skilled these kids is. Man, them bugs is annoying. Shit. Yeah, but you go watch them, they show you how to make cement, gray cement, how to make colors, finding shit like cranberries and all that in the forest or whatever, blueberries. I mean, they creative, man, for real. And they make their own bricks, so we just take the same thing they get, which is basically dirt and water. Then they use like 4 sticks, 4 sides, whatever, to make like a brick shape. Then you put the mud inside of there. Then they take that, let it dry either by the sun, or they would do that plus put it in like a little campfire. And the fire turns the mud, whatever, to a hard brick. It's like the Most High to put everything here for us to survive without spending a dollar, really. And he making a jacuzzi right here. Ain't that crazy? You got heat and all that. Water warm. Did that by himself. You got one right there too. I ain't gonna play that one. We gonna go into this one.
With another truth video.
Them videos that have you hooked though.
I'm gonna show you how they put all these symbols and signs in front of us ever since we was kids, watching these cartoons and shit they have on TV. And you think I'm playing, I'm gonna break it all the way down. And this will be a long video. So what I'm gonna do is make a part 2. Now this will be part 1. Now it's the same pyramid that fold out on this E-man chest. Okay? And just like the Apollo statue in New York, like to hold up that sword to make a light. That's all it is. It's signs and symbols all up in the cartoon. You think I'm playing? Take a look at Skeletor. Pay attention. We never did. Okay? That's why we're in this situation right now. But we never pay attention. Look at Skeletor. That's a skeleton. That's a skeleton face right there, and the bone on the chest. That remind you of anything?
Oh, damn.
It's a damn skull and bones. Okay?
Yeah, see, that's why we can't just blame. Hold on. I don't mean to point it, but that's why we can't just blame music and say it's rappers or it's this or it's just one person. None of that. It started way before. We was watching cartoons coming from elementary and shit, and wind up having these bad attitudes or I'm saying mixed emotions. Like, come on, man, shit is deep.
It's a skull and bones you find on Skeletor. That's what it is. 100%. And all these so-called females over here, they're wearing the serpent right there on the breast. There you go with the pyramid around the waist. That's what they do. Okay? All signs and symbols in these cartoons. And we never see it. Okay? There you go. Pyramid on the chest. This E-man right here. This character, whatever every young kid growing up back then wanna be like. This is it right there. Even the lion got the pyramid on the face. There you go right there. In plain sight. You're not gonna see it. We sleep. Now when you wake up, you can see this one right here showing you the Baphomet right there with the goat shaping head with the horns. That's what they do, okay? Star of David on the chest. That's what they do, okay? And there go your skull and bones and skeleton right there in plain sight. Wake your ass up. That's the skull and bones. Now, these so-called females, you can see them with the eye, the one eye in the forehead. That's what it represents, okay? That's the same higher Ra, higher Cyrus, one of them you want to call it. It's the one-eyed God. This one have it in the forehead as well. Okay? Signs and symbol in plain sight. You can see this one down here, the same thing Google used for their photo, right?
Allows to just reproduce and show clips for criticism, commenting, recording, teaching, and research of copyrighted material without authorization of the copyright.
I'll tell you what's the worst part about television is the programming, the philosophy. Okay, I mean the manipulating of your mind, the philosophy, the mentality, the system of thinking, the ideology. That's what's wrong with television. That's what's wrong with movies. That's where they're really getting in your head. Take, for example, Walt Disney, right? And many people that will preach against the TV, they'll preach against the movies, they'll preach against Hollywood because it's obvious that stuff is bad. But then they'll say, well, we watch Disney movies. And I've been to the home of preachers and Christians who would never watch TV or the movies, but yet they have the whole library of the Walt Disney movies. You know those white plastic cases? And they have them all lined up. And I mean, they have tons of them lined up, scores of them. I don't know how many there are, but there's hundreds of them. They have them lined up and lined up. And they have their kids watching those movies all day long. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to prove to you right now that those movies are wicked. Say, what? Disney movies? Come on. You're crazy. They're rated G. Well, let's see. First of all, did you know this? Did you know
Fisher of
that
Men,
Disney
that's his
movies
channel.
are filled with subliminal messages?
Y'all want to see more of that? Some more deep stuff people don't like to hear, but
Add some color to your Black Friday and get a great deal on a Jeep SUV. The best-selling SUV brand. Great deals going on all
the
month.
truth about everything. What to eat, what not to wear, what logos to be careful that you
Total Pro
represent.
Sports presents 30 sports logos with hidden images and meanings. Today we're going to take a look at sports logos with hidden images and meanings. Is the list going to blow your mind? Probably
Choice
not.
to do your own
Some
thing,
of the
but
hidden images are just really clever, and there will probably be a couple of logos that you have known about since forever, because you're so smart. But unless you just don't like sports logos at all, in which case I'm going to be honest, it's really weird that you're even here. I promise that you will learn a few things, and probably will come away with a new respect for some logos, which you have been familiar with for years. Ready to start? Okay then, let's rock and roll. Number 30, Oregon Ducks. The Oregon O was cooked.
y'all see the video, you want to hear more about it, just go check it out.
When a big brand designs a logo, how long do you think they brainstorm for? Some people believe that popular companies hide messages within their logos, which reveal dark secrets about the brand. In this video, we'll take a look at some crazy conspiracy theories about brand logos, which allegedly contain frightening hidden messages. Number 5. Timberland Hanging Tree. Timberland is an American clothing brand founded in 1952. It's known for its boots and outdoor footwear. During the 1990s, a rumor started to spread about Timberland. The rumor accused Timberland's former chief executive, Jeffrey Schwartz, of being a racist. This stemmed after a daily newspaper by the name of the New York Times released an article in which they interviewed Jeffrey. They asked him about his opinions on Timberland's popularity in the hip-hop scene. He replied by saying the brand's intended audience was honest working people. Many readers saw this in a racial context, which fueled the allegations that the owners of Timberland were racist. Also, a poem written by Maya Angelou only added to the conspiracy theory. The poem, which is titled Clothes, had this to say about Timberland. And for footwear, you wear Timberlands, even under the sun. That same tree that is the symbol for them could have been the same one your ancestors were hung from. Due to all the allegations, people started to believe that the tree in the logo was actually a representation of a lynching tree. Lynching is the act of murdering someone for an alleged offense without a fair trial. The main choice of execution for lynching is hanging. Lynching mainly occurred during the early 1900s. Between 1882 and 1968, nearly 4,000 African Americans and 1,200 whites were lynched in the United States. The poem also stated that the founders of Timberland were high-ranking KKK members. So is there any truth behind these allegations? Let's take a look at the real history of Timberland. In 1952, a man by the name of Nathan Swartz purchased half an interest in a shoe company called the Abington Shoe Company.
Alright, I don't want to go and let these videos play too long. Trying to get some sleep, plus I don't know if these people be the type to see this and try to do some lawsuits. So I'm trying to keep them short clips.
You see them everywhere, and they can often influence the decisions and purchases you make. Of course, we're talking about logos. Companies spend millions on designing logos that not only help attract your attention, but also deliver a message, sometimes hidden. What do we mean? Well, take a look at these logos and you'll see there's often more than meets the eye. From razor blades to social media apps, hit that subscribe button and prepare to see some pretty interesting things, often hidden in plain sight. Continental. We'll start this one off with a pretty straightforward example. People into cars and trucks will know that Continental is a German automotive company best known for their tires. But what about people who aren't into cars? They would look at this logo and have no clue what Continental was. An airline? A type of breakfast? Well, the designers have added a hidden image in this logo to help you remember. Look at the CO in this logo long enough and you'll see that it's actually a 3D white wall tire. Tostitos. We've all seen these products in the grocery store.
Well, this is interesting. Here's some things that you may not have seen in some of the most iconic sports logos. So we start with the Atlanta Falcons. SB Nation pointed all this out, give credit where credit's due. They noticed that there is a hidden F in the Falcon. Do you see it? Could you possibly come to the conclusion that they did?
Yeah.
Or is it just like a weird effed up F?
Yeah, honestly, the F that they put in there superimposed, you can see the F. It's not even as good as the F without it. You can see the F, obviously.
They also wrote the feathers slightly resemble as, like AS, but that's a little more tenuous, is what SB is. Moving forward, the Washington Capitals. Do we have music?
Wouldn't it be AT?
Would be what?
Why AS with the feather?
I don't know. Here's the Washington Capitals.
Oh, absolutely. That's obvious.
It checks out.
You know what's good also? I'm
the
sorry.
Capitol building.
As we go through these, there's lots of, look up logos of like restaurants and products. There's lots of hidden logos.
There are.
Yeah, but this video is on good things about the logos and bad things too. It's mixed up. Trying to keep it short though.
Want a performance car, but need to buy stuff?
Just want y'all to pay attention in case I never heard a lot of these videos and got this information. Y'all go check these channels out because they be talking about some good stuff.
Adidas, Apple,
Mother
BMW,
kids, they be building some
Coca-Cola,
great stuff.
Toyota.
Show you how to make a
We see
pool
these
without
famous brands
all that
everywhere,
expensive.
but
You know
never
what I mean?
consider what their logos mean exactly.
If
But
you have
every
the strength
line,
and the time.
curve, and color has meaning behind it. Most of them were designed to indicate something much more than simple beauty. Curious to know? Watch the 16 famous logos with a hidden meaning you've never noticed. Number 16, Hyundai. Many people think that the logo of the South Korean company Hyundai is simply the first letter of its name. In fact, the letter H symbolizes two people, a client and a representative of the company, shaking hands. That's very thoughtful. Number 15, Adidas. The name Adidas is derived from that of its founder, Adolf Dassler. The company's logo has changed over time, but it has always included 3 stripes. The current logo is 3 stripes at an angle which together form a triangle. This symbolizes a mountain, which in turn represents the challenges. 11 famous logos with a hidden meaning. DreamWorks. Developed back in 1994, anyone wishing to get a hearty laugh and enjoyable experience could count on a DreamWorks motion picture to help them get in touch with their inner child. Producing successful blockbusters like Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, and Despicable Me, the company shows no sign of slowing down and has gained the upper hand in the entertainment industry for years to come. Anyone who has seen a DreamWorks movie is well aware of their signature logo, the boy on the moon with the fishing rod. This design came from the creative and brilliant imagination of director Steven Spielberg. He wanted an image that reminded people of Hollywood's golden era. He initially proposed
Alright, on to the next.
Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and
Yeah, I
sell
want to tell you about the
stocks,
Starbucks
ETFs,
logo
and
too.
cryptocurrencies,
They got videos
all
on that
commercial free.
Starbucks logo I watched
Getting
before,
started is
probably like a
easy,
year ago,
and you can
about how the
invest in the
Starbucks
companies
logo
you
is
love
actually the
in a
Queen of
free
Sex or
tax-free
something like
way.
that. And
It's time to take
that's why it
control
made
of your
sense to me
financial
when I used to
future.
notice most people meet up in there and wind up sliding from there together. Like I've seen it over and over in Starbucks. People going there just to try to talk to somebody. I mean, find a date and all. when I seen it.
Here are 10 reasons why you should never celebrate Halloween. Reason number 1. Halloween is the devil's holiday. People mindlessly celebrate Halloween without realizing that this is the biggest day where witches and warlocks all around the world practice satanic ceremonies to bring a spiritual attack on the church and the community. Reason number 2. Curses behind the pumpkin by the door. The pumpkin represents the demon that controls the rivers, whose name is Oshun, type of Jezebel in Santeria. This pumpkin brings demons into your house when you put the pumpkin at your door on Halloween. You are giving the devil an entryway into your house and family. Reason number 3. Open doors through celebrating Halloween. The devil loves it when believers celebrate Halloween and get dressed up. No matter how much you read the Bible, he loves Christians who celebrate Halloween because it brings a 4 to 5 generational curse to your family. He knows that the next generation will celebrate Halloween as a ripple effect and attach the curse to other family members. Reason number 4. Harvest is not a substitution for Halloween. Churches celebrate Halloween or harvest. You bring a curse to the church and upon the children of the church when you substitute this holiday. Why create a substitution for this demonic holiday? If you celebrate Harvest Festival, you celebrate Halloween. We feel like we must entertain people to keep them in the church or to have them come back, but we don't. We must bring the cross, and God will do the rest. Reason number 5. The delusions behind costumes. This is one of the biggest delusions to the church. Devil changed Adam and Eve's identity when they were in the garden. When Christians put on a costume of something they're not, they open themselves up to a demonic attack. Your identity has changed. The devil is the biggest identity theft. He tried to make Jesus question his own identity when he tempted him. In Matthew chapter 4, it says, "If you're really the Son of God." Many Christians walk around without an identity to what God has called them to be. They don't know their purpose, but they sure do know how to celebrate Halloween. Reason number 6. It's the opposite of Christ. Halloween is the opposite of Resurrection Sunday. The importance we have when we celebrate Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday is the same type of importance to devil worshippers when they celebrate Halloween. Reason number 7. November 1st is not about the saints. The day after Halloween is Saint Day, November 1st. They bring food offerings to dead relatives, but it is truly demonic. Reason number 8. It's betrayal to God. It says in 1 Corinthians 10:21, "You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons too. You cannot have a part in both the Lord's table and the table of demons." How can you call yourself blessed and saved while celebrating Halloween? For example,
Yeah, that's deep stuff, man. I said I don't want to go too much into these videos. That was already 3 minutes, but A&Q Productions, why you should never celebrate Halloween.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you that Christmas is a pagan holiday. If you're a Christian, you should not be celebrating it. As we lead up towards Christmas, I'll probably do a proper video on it. But I just want you to know you should not be partaking in Christmas. It's a pagan practice, okay? Don't say that